Hi guys, welcome to my coffee shop. My name is Jack and summer is upon us, and everywhere you look, every coffee shop you go to, every YouTube channel, they all make a cold brew. Personally, I'm not a fan. I've never really done a cold brew in my life. Obviously, I had cold brew at the coffee shops. I was never impressed. If I want a cold drink, I go for like an energy drink or something. And I was planning to make a video about a pour over on Decent, and while scrolling through the profiles, I found this. I found actually a profile for a cold brew, and I thought, well, let's do it. This will be my 5 cents into that whole cold brew madness. The recipe is simple and I don't have to do much, which is great. Decent will do everything for me. They say that you should grind a little bit coarser for this profile than for your regular hot pour over, which makes sense. The brewer will be choking again. That makes sense with the colder water, so every now and then you have to agitate, but otherwise you just put the coffee in, press the button, and it goes. They recommend 22 grams of coffee in and 375 grams of liquid out. To use most of the pour over profiles on Decent, you need a special basket, and that's the basket. It only has what, 9 holes in total, and that will work kind of like an extra shower screen. Should allow even distribution of water. And we will use that coffee that's been roasted in Norway. Lots of flavor notes here. That's a coffee from Guatemala, naturally processed, and they add some champagne yeast to start up the process. There will be 4 pours in total. First one will be a blooming phase. Honestly, I haven't tried this profile. I have no idea what to expect. One thing that you will notice, the water temperature, 20 degrees. As you can see, if I wanted to fit size 2 V60 underneath here, well, there's no space, so you need to remove that water tray. Once you put your scale and the carafe and size 2 V60, not much space, as you can see, between the basket and the V60. The regular size Decent can only fit size 2 V60. Just tasting the coffee is one thing, but we need to compare it with something. With the traditional cold brew, you might be brewing it overnight for 16 hours or so. I found this. That's a cold brew concentrate. Someone gave it to me to test. We will check if my cold brew, the Decent's cold brew, can be better than the cold brew that you can buy at the shop. So, if you're as excited as myself, definitely click like, subscribe, and well, let's do it. I have something. I wouldn't necessarily call it a cold brew. It's kind of warm in touch. Something that I've noticed today, and I've noticed that before when doing a pour over on Decent. With the espresso, it's very accurate. So when you set it for, let's say, 45 grams, you get 45 grams. When you do the pour over, it pretty much always overshoots. So you need to keep an eye on your scale and turn it off manually. It didn't choke, that's a good thing. In total, it took about 4 minutes. Let's try it. Kind of light in color. Very mild flavors, but not bad flavors. I mean, that could be more about the coffee that is very good. I can taste some tropical notes. There is some nice level of sourness, very crisp flavors. Slightly too diluted, but it's not bad. When you order a cold brew, it's usually like a proper cold. So let's drop few ice cubes. It looks almost like if I was having a whiskey. Unfortunately, I'm recording it before I go to work, so it has to be just a coffee. No. Now, the problem with the cold drinks, they need extra flavors, because if you drink something cold, your taste buds, they lose some of the sensations. That's why, for example, the ice creams, if you melt the ice creams and if you taste them, they would be sickly sweet, because they put extra sweet, extra sugar to accommodate that loss of sensation when something is cold. The same happens here. When I put the ice cubes, we lost some of the nuances from the coffee. But it's still drinkable, and obviously ice cubes themselves, they dilute the coffee. So what I would say, it's once you brew the batch, maybe cover it with the cling film and put it into the fridge for an hour or so, just to drop the temperature. Another thing that you could use, it's a darker roast, which has that kick, which might be unpleasant when the coffee is warm, but when the coffee is cold, it can gives you that extra bit of flavors that you would be normally missing. I promised you a real deal made by professionals. So that's the cold brew from Ireland, I think. think. It's a concentrate. It should give you 7 servings of cold brew. But you know what? I think I'm tough enough to drink it straight like that. That's who I am.
Certified badass.
I'm risking my life here for you guys, drinking it undiluted, so definitely click like and consider subscribing to the channel. We always experiment with the coffee here, but normally those shows are a bit more serious than today. Cheers. They used slightly darker roast and you get that flavor of something. My one lost a little bit of that, but because my one is a light roast, I still prefer it. I still prefer it because somewhere deep there is that extra layers of flavors that is missing here. This is not a bad coffee, so if you're lazy, if you're so lazy you don't want to make your own cold brew, this is not the worst thing that I had. I'm not saying I love it, but I do not hate it either. I would mix it with vodka or tequila and I would have a nice summer cocktail. I'm surprised with how good that thing that I've done is. What I would change here, I probably would add a little bit more coffee, so maybe 30 grams instead of 22. Then maybe I would get a little bit more of that coffee flavors. But overall, it's not bad. I'm not a cold brew connoisseur though, so if you own a Decent, if you did that cold brew on Decent, let me know how you like it. I would strongly encourage you guys, whatever equipment you have, experiment with the coffee, play with the coffee. We don't have to be serious all the time. If you have a cold brew recipe you would like to share, if you have some special coffee blend, coffee beans that you would strongly recommend for the cold brew, also please let us know. Plenty more things coming, but for today, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jack, this is my coffee show, and hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you, bye!